Good morning, students. Today, let's begin with a new chapter, that is chapter number 7 of your NCERT textbook, Structural Organization in Animals. In this chapter, we will be studying about the various tissues which are found in animals. Now, you all have studied what are tissues, isn't it? So how can we define a tissue? A tissue is a group of similar cells having a common origin and performing a specific function. That is a tissue. Tissue is a group of similar cells having a common origin, means they are originated from the same cell, or one cell goes on dividing and forms a group of cells, right? They have a common origin and all these cells together perform a particular function or a specific function. That is called as a tissue. Now the study of tissue, that is called as histology. The branch of biology which deals with the study of tissue is called as histology. And it was Paul Mayer who coined the term histology. So you have to remember the name of the biologist who coined the term histology, that is Paul Mayer. Now let's see which are the various tissues which are found in animals. There are 4 various types of tissues found in animals. I hope you all know this, right? At least some of the tissues you have studied, right? The first tissue is epithelial tissue. Epithelial tissue is a tissue which is found outside or lining the superficial organs or the outer covering of certain organs, or sometimes the epithelial tissues, they are found the inner lining of the cavities. Inner lining of cavities or outside protective layer, both are the epithelial tissues. Epithelial tissues are also called as epidermal tissues. Okay. Now, the second type of tissues are the connective tissues. Connective tissues. The third type of tissues are muscular tissue, and the last one, nervous tissue. So these are the 4 main types of tissues. Which are they? Epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, and nervous tissue. Now each of these tissues are again divided into different types. Now we have to study about all these tissues in detail in this chapter. So first let me just give you an overview of all the different types of the tissues which we have to study. So epithelial tissue is broadly classified into 2, simple and compound. Then simple and compound epithelial tissues are again divided into different types based on the shape of the cells, like simple squamous epithelial tissue or stratified squamous epithelial tissue, then columnar tissue and cuboidal tissue. So squamous epithelial tissue, cuboidal epithelial tissue and columnar epithelial tissue are the 3 types of epithelial tissues. Then second type of tissues are the connective tissues. Connective tissues are again divided into 4 different types. That is, the first one, loose connective tissue. Loose connective tissue, in that we have to study about areolar tissue and adipose tissue. Then comes dense connective tissue. In that we have to study about tendons and ligaments. Then we have to study about skeletal tissue, that is the bone and the cartilage. Then we have to study about fluid connective tissue, the blood and the lymph. Then comes muscular tissue. Under muscular tissue we have to study about 3 different types of muscles, that is smooth muscle, striated muscle and cardiac muscle. And the last one, nervous tissue, which is made up of neurons. Okay, so this is an overview of the different types of these tissues. Now in today's class, let us discuss about epithelial tissues. So as I've told you, epithelial tissues, they form a covering, right? They are found mainly in 2 regions. One is the outer covering of certain organs. Outer covering of certain organs. Suppose this is an organ. The outer covering of certain organs will be lined by the cells which form the epithelial tissue. Right? Now, suppose this is a inner cavity. Suppose this is a cavity. Now, this cavity is also will be lined find the tissues are, one is they provide a covering, that is covering for the organs, outer parts of the body. Or they may be found lining the cavity, that is inner lining of the cavities also will be lined by epithelial tissues. Okay, now every epithelial tissue has a free surface. So this is the free surface. You can see that. So this is the inner region and this is the face which is facing outside. So that it has a free surface. Here if it is lining the cavity, so this is a cavity. So inside that also you find this epithelial tissue. So it has a free space and it provides a covering or lining of some parts of the body. Now, second important property of an epithelial tissue. The epithelial cells, the cells which make up this epithelial tissue are compactly packed. What's the meaning of compactly packed? They are arranged without any intercellular spaces. They are arranged very close to each other. One cell is attached to the other one without any intercellular space. So that's the second important property. The cells are compactly packed with little intercellular space or no intercellular space. The third important property is this tissue is non-vascular, means blood vessels are not found in this kind of tissues. Now, the fourth property is the epithelial cells lie on a basement membrane. Now, what is the meaning of a basement membrane? Basement membrane is a non-cellular membrane. So, there will be a non-cellular membrane and on top of that you find the tissues. Okay? So, this is the basement membrane and on top of that you find the tissues. So, that is epithelial tissue, the properties of epithelial tissue. So once again, epithelial tissue, the cells have a free space and it provides a covering or a lining for some parts of the body. The cells are compactly packed without intercellular spaces and the tissue is non-vascular, means they do not have blood vessels. And the last one, the cells lie on a basement membrane. So you have to add that fourth point, that is the cells lie on a basement membrane. So the basement membrane is non-cellular. Hope it's clear? Right. Now, let's move on to the types of epithelial tissues. Right? Epithelial tissues are broadly classified into two types. One is simple epithelial tissue, another one is compound epithelial tissue. Simple epithelial tissue means single layer of cells, only one layer of cells are found, right? Whereas in compound epithelial tissue, you find many layers of cells, that is one layer on top of the next, on top of that next, like that. So multi-layer cells are found in the case of a compound epithelial tissue, and in the case of a simple epithelial tissue, you find a single layer of cells. Now both this compound and simple epithelial tissues are again divided into three main types based on the shape of the cells. So the compound simple epithelial tissue, they have a single layer. Compound epithelium have many layers. Compound epithelial tissue is also called as stratified epithelial tissue. Hope you got the word stratified epithelial tissue. So, simple epithelial tissue, they have a single layer and functions as a lining for body cavity. Now, both these epithelial tissues, that is simple and compound, are divided into three different types based on the shape of the cells. So, there are three types. The first one, squamous epithelial tissue. Squamous epithelial tissue are thin, flat cells. Thin, flat cells, which are arranged just like tiles on a floor. Right? In your houses, you have tiles on your floor, isn't it? So how are these tiles arranged? They are thin and flat, and they are arranged one after the other. Right? And these epithelial tissues, that is, they are called as a squamous epithelial tissue. So when you look from the side, you find it as thin, flat cells. That is, it will be found like this. If you look from the side, you find the epithelial tissues like this. But if you look from top, you will find it as cells like this. They will be polygonal or they may be hexagonal. Right? This is how you see the squamous epithelial tissues. So squamous epithelial tissues will be found as thin flat cells. Hope it's clear. So if it is single layer, it is called as simple squamous epithelium. If it is multi-layer, it is called as stratified squamous epithelium. Now, sometimes, so this is the first type. Second type, sometimes the cells are found cube-like. You find cube-like cells arranged on a basement membrane. Cube-like cells. Okay. And this type of cube-like cells which are arranged on the basement membrane, they are called as cuboidal epithelium, simple cuboidal epithelium or stratified cuboidal epithelium if it is multi-layer. And the third type of cells are tall pillar-like cells like this. Tall pillar-like cells, columnar epithelium. So the third type of cells are columnar epithelium, which are tall pillar-like cells. So three types of epithelial tissues are there, that is simple and broadly classified into two types, that is simple and compound. The simple and compound is again divided into three different types based on the shape of the cells. They are squamous, that is thin flat cells. Second one cuboidal, that is cube-like cells. And the third one tall columnar cells. Hope it's clear? Right. Now let's see the differences between these. So in this picture here you can see the first diagram is simple cuboidal cells, one layer of cube-like cells. The second diagram is simple squamous epithelium. You can see thin flat cells. Third diagram is simple columnar cells, tall pillar-like cells. And the fourth stratified squamous. There you can see multi-layer of cells, many layer of cells. Hope it's clear? Right. Now let's see the differences between squamous, columnar and cuboidal. So first difference, I hope you all know. First difference is what? Squamous epithelial cells are thin flat cells with irregular boundaries. They don't have a proper boundary. Second, whereas in the case of columnar cells, they are tall pillar-like cells. Third one, they are cube-like cells. So single layer they have mentioned. This is because these are simple squamous epithelium, simple columnar epithelium and simple cuboidal epithelium. Right. Second point, all these three are uninucleate, means they have only one nucleus. But the position of the nucleus, that is, in the case of squamous epithelium, you find the nucleus in the center, uninucleate, centrally placed. Right? Uninucleate, centrally placed. In cuboidal epithelium also, uninucleate, centrally placed. But in the case of columnar cells, the nucleus will be found towards the base of the cell. Towards the base of the cell. Uninucleate but found towards the base of the cell. So that is the second point of difference. So all are uninucleate, but the first one squamous epithelium, uninucleate, centrally placed. Second one uninucleate, that is columnar cells, found towards the base of the cells. And third one, that is cuboidal, uninucleate, centrally placed again. Right? Now, the third difference, functions. What are the functions? Squamous epithelium function, it is found mainly outside the outer line covering or the inner lining. So their main function is what? Helps in diffusion. Diffusion means what? Movement of molecules from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So the squamous epithelial tissue serves as diffusion boundary, whereas columnar and cuboidal epithelium acts like helps in secretion and absorption. Hope it's clear. The third point, functions. The fourth point is, where are these epithelial tissues found? Squamous epithelial tissues are found lining the walls of blood vessels. Blood vessels, inner lining of the blood vessel is made up of simple squamous epithelium. Or they are found in the alveoli. What are alveoli? Small air sacs found in the lungs. Okay. Whereas columnar epithelium, they are found lining the stomach, inner lining of the stomach as well as intestine. Then cuboidal epithelium, they are found in the ducts of glands and tubular parts of nephron. Now, ducts of glands. Now, what are glands? Glands are specialized structures which secrete certain chemicals. Glands are, I think you have heard the term glands. Glands are certain specialized structures which secrete chemicals. Now, there are two types of glands. Some glands have a tube-like structure to carry their secretions, whereas some other glands do not have. So the tube-like secretion, suppose this is the salivary duct, right, or salivary gland. This is the salivary gland. It has a small tube, this tube, right, to carry. Salivary gland produces what? Salivary glands produces saliva. The saliva is secreted out. It is carried by a small tube, this tube, and that tube is called as a duct, D-U-C-T, right? So salivary duct. So the cuboidal epithelium is found lining this duct. So this is a duct region. Lining the duct, you find what? The cuboidal epithelium tissues. Hope it's clear. So that is all about the differences between squamous, cuboidal and columnar. So the word simple and compound is based only on whether that is found in a single layer or whether they are found in many layers. If they are found in many layers, we name it as stratified squamous, stratified cuboidal or stratified columnar. Okay, and the difference between all these three cells, I hope you understood now. Right, now let's see if the cuboidal or columnar cells. See, suppose this is a columnar cell, right? This is a columnar cell. The tip of that, the free surface. So one surface will be attached to the basement membrane. The other surface will be having thin hair-like structures. These are called as cilia, right? If the cuboidal or columnar epithelium if the cuboidal or columnar cells possess cilia at the free surface, if they have cilia, they are called as ciliated epithelium. Hope it's clear. So simple epithelium itself or epithelial tissues are broadly classified into simple and compound, and these two are again divided into three different types. And if the cuboidal and the columnar cells possess cilia at the free surface, then we call such epithelium as ciliated epithelium. So if it is ciliated simple cuboidal epithelium or ciliated simple columnar epithelium or ciliated stratified cuboidal epithelium, so depending on whether it is single layer or multi-layer. Hope it's clear? Right. Now we will see. Some of the epithelial cells, they get specialized for secretion. Some epithelial cells, they get specialized for secretion. And such epithelial tissues which are specialized for secretion are called glandular epithelium. Hope you got it. So what is glandular epithelium? Those epithelial cells which are specialized for secretion. There are two types of these glandular epithelium, may be either unicellular or multicellular. On the basis of their mode of secretion, glandular epithelium are of two types, or glands are of two types. One is endocrine glands, the other one exocrine glands. Endo and exo. Now I think you have studied about endocrine glands, isn't it? Endocrine glands are called as ductless glands. What are they called as? Ductless glands. Endocrine glands are called as ductless glands. Why? Because they do not have a duct or a tube to carry their secretion. Whatever is secreted by such glands will be directly released into the body circulation. It will be directly released into the blood circulation, right? So such glands are called as endocrine glands. Endocrine glands are ductless glands. Ductless. I hope you understood the meaning of a duct. Right. Now the examples of endocrine glands are thyroid gland, which are found in the throat. Right? Pituitary gland. You know what is pituitary gland? The master gland of our body, which is found associated with the brain. So these are the two examples of endocrine glands. Whereas exocrine glands are the glands which have ducts to carry their secretion, which have a small tube to carry their secretion. So the secretions are directly not released into the bloodstream. It is carried by the tube to the target organ. So salivary glands is one example. Salivary glands secrete saliva and the salivary duct carry the secretion. Second example for exocrine gland is mammary glands, the milk producing glands called as mammary glands. So mammary glands produce milk and it is carried, it has a duct. So these are the two different types of glands. One is endocrine gland and the other one is exocrine glands. Hope it's clear to you all? Okay. Now let's move on to the next topic, that is compound epithelial tissue. Compound epithelial tissue we have already discussed, but let's once again discuss about the function as well as where they are found. So compound epithelial tissue, as I've already told you, it is made up of more than one layer of cells, that is multicellular, and thus has limited role in secretion and absorption. They do not play a major role in secretion as well as absorption. Then what will be their function? Their main function is provide protection against chemical and mechanical stresses. So the main function of compound epithelium is to provide protection against chemical and mechanical stresses. So when there is an external pressure, a mechanical pressure on some part of the body, that will be protected by this compound epithelial tissue. Now, where are they found? They are found mainly covering dry surfaces of the skin. So this dry surface of the skin will be made up of compound epithelium, right? It is also found lining the buccal cavity or the pharynx, and also found in the lining of salivary duct. Okay, so the main difference between compound and simple epithelium is single layer of cells, compound epithelium is multi-layer of cells. Second point of difference is simple epithelial cells are mainly, their main function is absorption and secretion, whereas compound epithelium, their main function is provide protection from chemical and mechanical stresses. Hope it's clear? Right. Now we will discuss about cell junctions. You know what is a junction? What's a junction? A point where many roads or many pathways meet, right? So in the body also, the cells, in between the cells also, we find certain junctions. And these junctions provide a link, both structural and functional link between individual cells. So the cells are connected to each other with the help of certain junctions. And these are called as cell junctions. 3 types of cell junctions are found in epithelial tissues. How many types? 3 types. Which are they? Tight junctions, adhering junctions, and gap junctions. So these are the 3 types of junctions found in epithelial tissue. Very important from examination point of view. That is, mention the cell junctions and write their function. So the cell junctions are tight, adhering, and gap. From the word itself, you know the meaning. Tight junctions. What's the meaning of a tight junction? A tight junction is the junction where the cells are very compactly packed and there is no gap between that. They prevent leakage of substances. No substances will be allowed to come in or go out. Such a junction is called as tight junction. So what is a tight junction? They prevent leakage of substances. Here you can see. So in the picture given there, you can see there is a junction, but there are the first 3 you find there is no gap, that is tight junction. And in the between the 3rd cell and the 4th cell, you can see a small junction with a small gap, that is a gap junction, right? Then the next type of junction is adhering junctions. Adhering junctions, from the term itself, they perform cementing function. What is the function of a cement? Right, so cement is usually used while construction, right? So when one brick, how a mason constructs a wall, first he keeps one brick. On top of that, he applies a little bit of cement, isn't it? And above that, he keeps a second brick. So the cement serves the function of adhering, right? It serves the function of keeping the adjacent bricks together. Same is the function of an adhering junction. Adhering junction perform cementing function to keep the adjacent cells together. So 2 cells are joined together or connected together. They are held together with the help of this adhering junctions. Hope it's clear? And the 3rd type of junctions, that is gap junction. You know the meaning of gap. Gap means there is space in between. So here you can see in the picture, in between both the cells there is a gap. And this gap allows movement of biomolecules, ions, etc. Biomolecules means what? Bio means life. Biomolecules means what? Molecules which give life. Which are the molecules that give life to our body? Carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals, all these are the biomolecules. So gap junctions allow movement of biomolecules. So these are the 3 different types of junctions found in epithelial tissue. Hope you all understood what we discussed today. So we discussed mainly about the epithelial tissue. In the next class, we'll discuss about connective tissue. Hope it's clear.